Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Mini Log's Little Adventure. We are here in Castle Wars. I was doing some AFK whilst editing episode 1. We have the fabled black pickaxe. However, we still do have one mining, and we'll get to that shortly. Thought I'd do a quick bank review, show you what we managed to accomplish on episode 1. We have a lot more rune arrows now, thanks to the plaudits out of Castle Wars. Few teleports, some pages, a little bit of fashionscape, some Castle Wars arrows and bolts. Probably won't use those ever, but we might as well stack them up. Quite a lot of wilderness supplies or PvP world supplies. You may have saw me thieving ham members with some blighted mantaries. I would just hop to a quick PvP world, replenish my hit points, and then quickly hop back. And yeah, we have a little. This is sort of the armor that I imagine we'll use at some point on the account, at least in the time being. So doing pretty well. I think the first plan of attack will be to get level 11 mining so we can use the black pickaxe. I do have a plan. I think the best way to do it is through quests, and that being the Plague City quest. It has no requirements, no recommendations. It is part of the elf storyline, which will help us get to Prifddinas and through Song of the Elves. There are some minor items that we will require, and we'll get into that as we go in the quest. But yeah, I think we're going to start that quest and get ourselves, I think it gives us like 14 or 15 mining. So now's probably a good time to go over how quest items will be allowed or not allowed in my series. So the approach I'm taking is that if an item can be acquired, it must be acquired for the quest. For instance, if I had a chocolate bar, which I don't have right now, there are two ways to grind it. Apparently it's a knife or a pestle and mortar. If I went with the knife, then I have to get the fletching knife. I can't use a regular knife because there is something on the collection log that sort of takes precedence, or it can be used in the same way. However, because there's nothing that I'm aware of in the collection log that mimics a pestle and mortar, I can go get the pestle and mortar and do it that way. I also made a bit of an error in episode 1. I was led to believe that the large spade from 500 Easy Clues had the ability to dig, but apparently it's just purely cosmetic. I'm not sure why Jagex made that decision. The spade that comes from clues can't be used for clues. I mean, really? Come on. So it turns out I can actually use spades because there is nothing on the collection log that mimics a spade. There is a Easter event that does have the ability to be used as a spade for clue scrolls, but because that's not on the collection log, I don't really have to worry about that. So we can actually use a spade, which is great. Now, I'm missing a couple of items for the Plague City quest. Most of those items, if not all of them, can be picked up in Varlamore. So we're going to make a quick sort of beeline towards Varrock and complete Children of the Sun, another quest that can be completed because it's a requirement for Twilight's Promise, I think, which then again is a requirement for Perilous Moons, and there's plenty of collection logs of Perilous Moons. So we're going to go smash out that quest and then continue on with Plague City. Children of the Sun completed. Off to Varlamore. There's Plague City completed for the 2,425 mining experience we're looking for. Total of 5 quest points now. Not sure why the quest gives mining experience, but I'll take it. There's 15 mining, which now allows us to equip and use the black pickaxe, which can be used for the rune essence for Priest in Peril. Now, as mentioned, any item that is not on the collection log after a quest must get dropped. There is Priest in Peril completed. That'll get us a few prayer levels, which is one of the main reasons I was hoping to do this quest fairly early. And also it unlocks, quite a lot of Mauritania. We actually immediately unlock Barrows as well after the little spade conundrum earlier. There we go, 15 prayer, excellent. But what it also does is it allows us to unlock a few items on, I believe, is it this one? No, there's one. There we go. Specific for Slayer, we can get things like the crawling hand now. There's a couple more early game ones. All of these boots, I think at least some of these boots are in the Slayer Tower. Obviously, Abyssal Demons are in the Slayer Tower for Abyssal Whips later on. But just having access to Mauritania for agility will be good for more Marks of Grace. The Slayer Tower is excellent, and there's loads of quests in here I need to complete to get to like Mos Laharmas for Trouble Brewing and the Black Mask. As I said earlier, we got Barrows, Shades of Morton minigame. There is loads to do here, so really happy to get this unlocked. And now I think I'm probably just going to do a few laps of Canifis, see if I can get some more Marks of Grace. I'd like to at least get a couple more pieces because my run energy just keeps dropping, and we're going to need at least 70 prayer, 70 agility anyway for Ziliana in the future. So we're going to just do a few laps, I think. So while training agility here in Canifis, I was starting to think about where we should go next on the account. It dawned on me that the Black Pickaxe has opened up even more things than I imagined to start with, and that being 2 new minigames. The first one being Motherlode Mine, if I were to power mine iron up to level 30 mining. That doesn't give me a whole lot of useful stuff right now other than the ores I could potentially use to get my smithing up a few levels. But the other thing that gives me access to is the Guardians of the Rift minigame through a couple of quests, that being the Temple of the Eye and the Enter the Abyss mini quest. Both of those, I have all of the items necessary to complete. One, I think I need a bucket, but that's okay because there is no collection log bucket. And that would give me access to the rune crafting skill. I could get my mining up there. But more importantly, from the chest or the rewards, I would unlock magic. And that is huge, especially teleportation. It takes me absolutely ages to get anywhere in Gielinor right now. So I'm probably just going to put a pause on agility for right now, complete the Enter the Abyss minigame, and then go ahead and complete the Temple of the Eye quest. And hopefully we can get some rewards that allow us to train our magic up. That is the Enter the Abyss mini quest completed for 9 rune crafting. A little bit shy of the 10 that we need to be able to start Temple of the Eye. To get the additional experience I need to get to level 10 rune crafting, we are going to complete the X marks the spot quest. I believe the only requirement is a spade, which we can use for sure, now that we've sort of fixed my understanding. And that'll get us a small XP lamp, which will get us over the hurdle. We're allowed to complete X marks the spot because it progresses into Client of Kourend, which is a requirement for Dragon Slayer 2, which unlocks Adamant and Rune dragons. So no problem there for X marks the spot. So we're going to go ahead and do that and get our antique lamp, which will give us about 300 experience, and then we can do Temple of the Eye. And about 5 minutes later, there we are. It is complete. We get the antique lamp. We can put that on rune crafting. And there we go, 10 rune crafting. Now we can complete the Temple of the Eye quest. That is Temple of the Eye complete. We now have access to the Guardians of the Rift minigame. We get 5,000 rune crafting experience and a medium pouch, which we do need to drop because we don't have, that's not on the collection log. We need to drop all of this. And we're going to step through the portal and take a look at this cool minigame. Guardians of the Rift has several ways to be able to obtain the collection log slot items. You have the rewards guardian, who, using the points from the game, can give you certain sort of random drops. That mostly these pearls, the talisman, needle, some of the dyes, and the intricate pouch. And then the intricate pouch, which you get from those rewards, you can get a couple of other things like the lost bag and the tarnished lock. The other items, like the of the eye robe set, as well as the Ring of the Elements, the Guardian's Eye, and the Catalytic Talisman. They come specific from Apprentice Felix, which uses the pearls that you gain from the Rewards Guardian. So, slightly complicated way of being able to sort of green log this mini game, but uh, you sort of just need to know that you do everything with the rewards guardian, then you use the pearls on Apprentice Phoenix, and then you open up the intricate pouches. Pretty much it. We're going to do a couple of test games, see how we get on, see how many reward points we can get, and who knows, maybe we'll even do our first opening. I've managed to stockpile about 10 reward points just as a little taster, just to show you I'm not cheating on the account. We don't have any runes in my bank at all. I've not been depositing, there's just been dropping them. So whatever we get from the rewards guardian and the intricate pouches is how we are going to be able to attain our runes. So let's go for the first 10 and see if we can get anything at all. Our first abyssal pearls. Atlax's diary, I believe that is also a collection log. No pop-up for it. Let's double check. Oh, it isn't. Okay, it's just a unique item. Okay, well, we're going to drop that. I can't use the talismans. They're not consumables. Get to open up these small pouches. Ah, it was literally just a small pouch. Okay, we have to drop that as well then. Okay, so no real good runes there. Nothing I can use straight off the bat. We have started our Abyssal Pearls grind. I think 32 is pretty decent, and we do have some first runes, so that's good. The game itself is a little bit difficult to ensure I'm getting consistent points with what my mining and basically what my mining level is. That seems to be the biggest issue I have right now. So what I think I'm going to do is go get 56 agility so I can use the little area down there. So far, I've managed to get up to 24 mining, 41 rune crafting, and 41 rune crafting and 8 crafting. But I want to be able to mine down in this little area, but it requires 56 agility instead of this one up here. And I think you get more of the little splinters or whatever they are, the fragments, quicker rather than having to use this one. So we're going to tag team that in terms of let's get some graceful, let's get 56 agility, and then we can come back and get consistent points. I'd like to try and get 4 points a game, 2 of each, and that will just double what we're currently doing now. Got some more fast escape from the zombie random event. There's 45 agility. Got ourselves a random event lamp. This is going to go into fishing. 470 fishing experience. Only another lamp or dunce until 8 fishing. We got the fishing random event again. I'm hoping this gets us to 10 fishing. That would be good because then we can make some potentially other quests. Oh, 11 fishing. Excellent. I'm going to look into that. I'm not sure if we can do the fishing contest quest just yet because it requires a rod that we don't have access to. But maybe there's another quest that we can get some fishing experience from. But there is 11 fishing. There's 50 agility. 6 levels to go. Got a nice little stack of some marks and grace. So we'll definitely be able to get a couple more pieces after this. If not 3 extra pieces. We'll see how close we are to a full set when we get 56, because I may do a couple more levels just to get the extra tokens if needed. There is 55 agility. 1 level to go for the Guardians of the Rift shortcut. We're sitting on 139 marks of grace. I think I'll definitely surpass 160, which will get me all but 1 piece. We'll see how close we get to another 50 or 55 on top of that. I think I need 220 total to be able to get the full set. If we're pretty close, I think I will just go ahead and stick this out for maybe another level or 2 and just green log the graceful so we don't have to worry about it in the future. We have our first mystery box on the account. What do we think the chances are of getting the stale baguette on our first mystery box? Unlikely. However, we did get a lamp, which is great. I think I will probably just keep doing fishing. I don't think I found a real plan yet for getting fishing early game. That's, I mean, to be fair, I haven't put a whole lot of effort because I've been doing agility and Guardians of the Rift, but it's just one lamp. I'm not too concerned about 110 fishing experience. We're just gonna keep lamping fishing, and we're almost halfway, maybe or almost halfway to 56 agility. So we're just gonna stay here. There's 56 agility, and on the last course we just managed to get to 160 tokens, which should give us everything except the legs. So probably just going to stop here and take a look at getting my mining up. I think if I can get up to like 40 mining, it'll just make it easier to get all the fragments. You can see here, level 56 agility, rock climb in the Temple of the Eye. That's sort of what we're looking for. I will probably go power mine some iron now with a steel pickaxe, just drop the iron up to 30 mining, and then move along to the motherlode mine to start collecting the golden nuggets until probably 45 mining. See how AFK I can get it. I'm a little bit busy today, so if I can AFK it a little bit, we'll just keep going. And that should be everything that we need to be a little bit more efficient at Guardians of the Rift to collect those runes so we can start raising our magic. Here we are at Grace. We're going to need one hood, one top, one gloves, and one boots. You can see that took up all of the slots. So the only one we're missing now is the legs. There's 30 mining. Now we're going to run over and do Motherlode Mine for a little bit. Just completed our first sack at the Motherlode Mine. I just thought I'd take some time to explain to you all how we're going to distribute the resources that come from this sack. So because this is not necessarily a crate and it doesn't gets bought from mini game points, we will indeed be dropping all items that come from the sack except for the nuggets, which are used to be able to purchase the items from Prospector Percy. So we're going to keep doing this, but anything from Prospector Percy that could be purchased, we are allowed to spend the nuggets on. So I can farm nuggets here and then purchase, like the gems, and then we're allowed to use those gems because they are indeed consumables. And then obviously the Prospector outfit and anything else that's in that store. There's 40 mining. And there we have 50 mining. Just going to stay until I get 40 gold nuggets. And that way I can at least buy the Prospector legs to fill my empty slot. We now have 40 nuggets. We're going to go ahead and go and buy those Prospector legs. Another collection log coming in, some camo bottoms. We can equip those now while we get our 50 golden nuggets. We decided to stay at the Motherlode mine just a little bit longer, and there is 60 mining. Really just because I was AFKing a little bit and decided there's no real reason to leave what I was doing. Mining levels definitely will definitely help in Guardians of the Rift. You can see here we've got 107 nuggets. So I'm going to buy some Prospector gear, and then we will probably go over to Guardians of the Rift now and see if I can get enough starter runes just to get to maybe like 25 or preferably 45 magic. I would love to be able to teleport into Camelot. Right now, there's not an easy way for me to get over White Wolf Mountain, so it just takes ages to get over there without using mini game teleports and running. So that is my current plan, and I will see you hopefully with some big pools from Gardens of the Rift. Gonna get a couple more collection log slots. Definitely gonna get the legs for the graceful piece we're missing. And the top is 60, helmet 40, boots 30. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and get the helmet, mainly because I just think it looks cool. So we're gonna grab that one as well. There we go, another collection log. And I think this is gonna end up being our Guardians of the Rift setup. Cool. All right, we are back with about 26 searches. You can see I've managed to get up to 49 rune crafting, 16 crafting, still 60 mining, but definitely making our way to 61. 410 total level, only 90 levels left before we can go to Soul Wars. Let's see if we can get some basic runes. Oh, gotta do our pin. Be right back. Oh, our first collection log. Some intricate pouches. Oh man, we are just getting pouches for days. Got some abyssal pearls. Oh, air runes. Great. Excellent. We just need something like mine runes now and we can start to train magic. I thought that was the soul needle for a second. That is useful though. That is probably our only way we can even get a needle. All right, pretty decent haul. That obviously the air runes are incredibly useful once we actually get something else. We're gonna have to drop these. And we're gonna open up these intricate pouches. A hard clue, awesome. Some more law runes, some more death runes, and a crystal key. There is 50 rune crafting. All right, we're going again for another 25 pools. All right, no mind runes from that. We're going to drop these pouches. Did manage to get some ashes, though. Technically, that counts as a consumable, so that'll give us a little bit of prayer experience. Only 85, not that much. But we did get one intricate pouch, so let's open this up. And some more chaos runes. All right, we're going back in. Still waiting for those elusive mind runes. There's 55 rune crafting. We're back with another 27 searches. However, before we search the Guardian, there's a topic I wanted to discuss that I've sort of been thinking about regarding consumables and mini games and how other items can work from it. I think I've made a decision that I think will maintain consistency on the account, and it sort of makes sense and allows sort of recognition for gaining some of the harder drops in the game. That being that there are certain items like the Abyssal Needle and certain clue items, like if we take Beginner Treasure Trail, for example, these sort of ornament kits that once obtained effectively don't do anything unless they're consumed for a purpose. And for this example, it'll be on a rune scimitar. I think I've made the decision that if I am able to obtain all items for the consumable to have an effect, in this instance, it would just be a rune scimitar and the ornament kit. I'm able to use the ornament kit on the item, and then I can use the end result. For reference, for like Guardians of the Rift, if I'm able to obtain the Abyssal Needle, and I know I'm already able to obtain all of the pouches from the search, I can use the needle to create the gigantic pouch, as it does consume the needle, and then that is my access to a pouch. But I can't use the pouches beforehand. I can only use the end product. So I'm going to save the pouches that come from the rewards guardian. I will probably, well, I'm definitely going to remove all of the pure essences come with it. I feel like that's a bit too far. But I think it would just be an interesting take that these items that I gain, I can use them on things and then use the end products. So let me know in the comments if you think maybe that's one step too far. But I feel like there's just so many items that come from mini games and clues that are effectively completely useless, but would give me a way to be able to use them and keep progressing on the account without inhibiting myself too much. Obviously, the rune scimitars are probably going to be next to useless by the time I get them. I already have 35 attack, and there's other ways to get better weapons. But something like maybe like the anguish ornament or a fury ornament or something like that could be useful if I can find a way to gain all of the other items necessary to craft them. Now, let's get into the search and hopefully we can get some mine runes. Oh, earth runes. That's really good. Oh, yes. Mine runes. Excellent. Okay, we can officially train magic. That is good because I was getting a little tedious of Guardians of the Rift. I know I'll have to do a lot of this, but I'd prefer to do it in drips and drabs. Now that we've made a decision to keep these pouches as well, these shouldn't roll again, which is great. Getting earth and water runes is also incredible because that allows us to cast some of the sort of curse spells for additional magic experience. We want to try and get to a magic level that allows us to use the chaos runes we have. Then we roll into deaths, and we should be able to get our magic up to, we can shoot for 45 just so I can teleport around the world a bit easier. And that will get us a lot closer to our end goal of getting 500 total level to be able to do Soul Wars. Now we're going to open up these intricate pouches and hope for a little bit more. Ooh, a Dragon Med Helm. Unfortunately, this is completely useless on the account. I cannot use or do any gear that's not on the collection log. I don't think there's an ornament kit for this. I will double check, but if there's not, we're just going to drop this on the ground. But super rare drop. Ooh, and a lamp. That's pretty cool. I'll probably just chuck this on fishing for now. 120 fishing experience. Okay, and these are the stats. Pretty decent going. 58 rune crafting, 27 crafting, all Guardians of the Rift, and we haven't obtained a single mining level since we've gained all these rune crafting levels. But now we're going to go up gear for magic. I am probably going to do it on Slayer. I feel like we need to start making progress to Slayer, because if I can't find a way to raise my hunter and fishing up to get the pearl fishing rod, then I need to kill worms for a dragon harpoon and keep lamping fishing effectively. I took a look into the Dragon Medhelm, and whilst there's a Bounty Hunter ornament kit that turns it into a sort of cool corrupted version, that's not on the collection log, so we do unfortunately have to drop it. Someone else here can, help themselves. Yeah, that's unfortunate, but that's just the rules of the account. And while we're in the bank, here's all of the runes we were able to achieve from Guardians of the Rift. A fairly decent haul. We should be able to get a fair few magic levels. I'm not really sure looking at this if this is going to get us to 45, but even if it can get us to 25 or 37 for the Falador teleport, I think that's what it is. I'm just going off pure memory right now. 37, yeah. That would still be decent. However, 45 is definitely something that we want to aspire towards. There's our first magic level on the account. Our task is to kill 12 Minotaurs, so that's what we're going to do. And probably just keep using Turiel for now. And I think we can use Vanica at level 40, so we may do our 10th task there. But some of you may be thinking, man, this guy's just like, he's grinding out Guardians of the Rift to get his magic up, but like he could just use his, melee stats. They're pretty decent. Why bother? And the reason for that is because magic sort of open up some of the early game quests for me that I can do. A couple of those being Waterfall quest I can do now that I have the runes, as well as the Grand Tree. The Grand Tree, fairly easy quest other than the Black Demon at the end, and without flinching for half an hour. You sort of want to use magic, and Waterfall I needed the runes. So those are just sort of easy total levels in attack and strength, and Grand Tree even gives me some magic experience, which was great. So now that we have 17 magic and we've unlocked Windbolt, I'll probably go ahead and do those two quests now, and we'll sort of take the free total levels where we're sort of 51 away from that Soul Wars grind to get the Ectoplasmator, and then we can see if we can solve prayer, because I think we need 40 prayer to even use that thing. And there's the Grand Tree quest completed. 40 attack. I think there's 5 levels. 4 magic levels. No agility, but that makes sense because we're fairly high agility level. Yeah, that got us 10 total levels, I think. Give or take, or 9, I think it is. So only 40 away now. We're going to go do Waterfall. That'll get us a lot of attack and strength experience. For those that don't know, we're able to do the Grand Tree quest because it's part of the Monkey Madness storyline, and Monkey Madness 2 gives us access to Glau's experiments, which gets us our Zenites and our Blister. Looking at the items needed for Waterfall, one of those items is a rope, and I sort of gave myself the ability to use a rope for the Plague City quest to be able to get the mining experience to be able to equip the black pickaxe. But since then, I've sort of realized that there is actually a way to obtain a rope through mini games. I wasn't aware of this beforehand, and that is via the Rogue's Den mini game. There is an item called the Rogue Kit, which, if you obtain, you can turn into a rope, chisel, tinderbox, or a spade. So I think it's well within the rules that I have to obtain that kit to be able to turn it into those 4 items needed for a quest. Because it sort of stands along to the side of, if I can get it from a mini game, I have to get it from a mini game. So we sort of broke the rules a little bit for Plague City. So what I'm going to do is a sort of forfeit is effectively stop what I'm doing right now, go get 50 thieving, and then we're going to do the Rogue's Den minigame until I gain a rogue kit for a rope, and then I'll probably do it until I get the chisel, tinderbox, and spade as well, because those are also other items that I just cannot get. They don't really count as consumables, but I feel like that is sort of a reward from that mini game. So we're going to go ahead and do that right now. I will probably just do easy clue scrolls for hand members up to 50. That probably makes the most sense, and we'll be back, with some level updates. 40 thieving coming in. Got ourselves another mystery box. Ooh, a diamond. Got a book of knowledge. We're gonna fire this into fishing, and that should get us to 13 fishing. Yep. I still think fishing is probably best. File making would probably make sense as well for the sea slug quest. However, what I'm trying to get is at least unlock fishing trawler. That will get me some mediocre, if you can call it that, fishing experience. But it also unlocks another mini game teleport for me. Right now, every time I want to try and get to Ardy or Camelot or Catherby, I have to start at Castle Wars. So this is just slightly closer, and we're really only like 2 levels away. So 5 or 6 more lamps and we'll get it. But we're still here. 42 thieving now. We've got 8 caskets. Probably just going to keep these until 50 and do a big opening. So I'll check back in with you with some more thieving levels. There's 45 thieving. Cheeky little lederhosen shorts. And there is level 50 thieving. We did manage to get 21 caskets. I have 3 clues here that I can still complete. So we're going to see if we can complete these 3 clues here, at least the steps, and maybe we get lucky for a 22nd casket. And then we're going to go over to the Rogue's Den in Berthorpe and start working towards getting our Rogue's Den set, our Rogue set, as well as the Rogue's kits for the spade, rope, chisel, things like that. We are here in Berthorpe's, dungeon, I guess you could call it, in the Rogue Dens area. We did manage to get a couple more easy caskets from those clues, got pretty lucky. So total of 23 caskets. For reference, I pickpocketed 4,377 ham members to get to level 50 thieving, which resulted in 53 easy clues. And obviously I was able to complete 23 of those total. Pretty decent to be expected. I did get a lot of emote clues that I just couldn't do, but we're going to open these up now. Really what I'm looking for is probably either the gilded chef's hat or the gilded apron that'll allow us to get into some guilds later on. But the primary is really just any sort of trimmed or gilded black armor. That would be an upgrade for us right now. I think potentially the rainbow could be useful if I can find a way to get either bronze or iron arrows. But other than that, there's not a whole lot else that I can think of right now that would be good for me, Clues. So let's get into it. Iron Full Helm G. That I do not believe is an upgrade. Well, we already have a Black Kite Shield, so that's not an upgrade either. Oh, we actually got the rainbow. That's pretty cool. As I said, I would need to find a way to get some bronze or iron arrows to actually use this, but this, I do believe, counts as effectively the same as a short bow. So if I can find a way to get arrows from any of the chests, like this technically counts as a way to train our ranged up. Another kite shield. Oh, and another kite shield. Wow, they really want us to focus on our defense. And some robe legs. We already have some robe legs as well, I think. So we're just getting lots of dupes, at least for the same slot. Wow, two black pickaxes. That that is crazy considering they're like 1 in 36 or whatever they were. So I guess we'll keep these in case we lose the one we have. Like now we've just got extra ones. And our last casket. Some Lunar Isle teleports. Won't be able to use those for quite some time. So didn't really get lucky. I was hoping for maybe some black armor upgrades, but doesn't look like we got any. This is all of the items that we're allowed to keep. We do have to drop the GP. Someone who's cooking sharks here, I guess, can use those. And the lore runes have to go as well. So this is everything we got. I think the pages could be useful in the future. The rainbow, I'm going to do some research to figure out if there's just any way possible that I can get some arrows. That would be incredible to train our range up. But everything else here, pretty much not really useful. Maybe the Zami item later on. And it's really just sort of nice to have. They're collection log slots, right? So now we're up to 55, which is pretty decent for, second episode of the account. Here at our first wall safe. Do we get a piece or do we just get the rogues kit? Either way, this is probably going to be a win-win for us if we get either of them. Oh, we get the rogues equipment crate. Excellent. That's 1 out of 4, I believe. Oh no, you get to choose. Ah, interesting. Okay, well, I think we take the rogue equipment because I believe there's still a chance to get just a rogue kit by itself. So, oh, there's 5 there. So let's get the mask. Does it let you actually go in wearing the mask? It does not. Okay, so we got to bank this and then we can go for round 2. I was getting a bit concerned that maybe I was wrong, but here we are. We've just completed 1 round and I did get just the rogue kit. So we should be able to use this now to get ourselves a rope. And that will be used for Waterfall Quest. We have 1 item left to go for Rogue's Den, so I'm going to stay here until I get another crate, and then we're going to have, I think it's our first green log on the account. Gents, the day has come. We finally get our first green log on the account. A fairly easy one, obviously not that much of a difficult one, but there it is. Rogue's Den. 5 out of 5. Awesome. All right. Now we are going to go back to training our magic. Scrap that. We're not going to do that. We're going to do Waterfall Quest. I almost forgot exactly why I did all of this. We're going to do the Waterfall Quest. Then we're going to go back and do our magic. Probably at the Mage Training Arena. We'll start working on grabbing some points. What a lovely mini game this is. We're going to start working on getting all the points for some of these items to start clearing that one out while we have runes. We might as well use the runes to progress something rather than just random magic. And that, I think, my hope is that will get us either 500 total level or very, very close to 500 total level so we can start our Soul Wars grind. That is Waterfall Quest complete. Decent strength and attack experience. I'm sure you guys have seen a lot of that pop up, but there we are, 44 combat, and we're up to 481 total. So if we can get 19 levels of magic, and I'm not sure if I've got the runes for it, but we'll definitely see. That'll get us to where we're trying to get to for Soul Wars. There's 30 magic. There's 40 magic. 42 magic. But even better, 500 total. We can now go into Soul Wars and start working on the Ectoplasmator. We'll probably stay here for 3 more levels. I really want to get the Camelot teleport, so just going to chill here until I get that. And there we have it, 45 magic. This will allow us now to teleport to Camelot, which was a big problem because I was either having to wait for minigame cooldowns or run across White Wolf Mountain, which was a real pain. So what we're going to do now, I'm just going to complete the extra 3 to get the extra points. Then we're going to pop over to Soul Wars. Take a quick look. 35 defense, just while we're here getting some zeal at Soul Wars. And 40 defense. Well, I have enough zeal to be able to afford the Ectoplasmator. However, I wasn't fully aware that you needed 40 prayer just to purchase it. I thought I could get it and then just have it, sitting in the bank until I got 40 prayer. I guess it's sort of 6 and 2 threes. It doesn't really matter. So what we're gonna do now is probably end the episode here. I think I've sort of achieved the goals that I was looking for, which was to unlock Soul Wars, get some magic levels, and have enough zeal to buy the Ectoplasmator. It'd been cool to be able to have one, at least sitting in inventory, but it looks like we can't do that. So I'm gonna go edit this now, see where we're at on time, and if we're around the sort of 20 to 30 minute mark, we'll probably call it here for episode 2. I have finished editing the episode, and we're sitting at around 40 minutes, a little bit more than I wanted it to be, but I feel like we got a lot done in this episode. We're going to call it here and start off episode 3 and trying to find a way to get our prayer to 40 to buy the Ectoplasmator. I think it's really important that we get our overhead so we can start some of the easier boss grinds and start getting some gear. The decorative armor is not going to get me very far. Thank you all very, very much for watching. If you're interested in the series and want to see how far we go and what progress we make, please subscribe. And even if you're not interested but you did like this video, just hit the like button. It means a lot to me.